welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lacey and I am currently 13 weeks pregnant with my 7th child. I believe in this video I was 12 weeks and 4 days pregnant. So I did post a video a couple of days before this going to the emergency room. It was on a Sunday. This video happened to take place on a Wednesday. Sorry about my voice being raspy. I have acid reflux, so it does tend to get worse during pregnancy and my voice gets a little raspy. Also, I'm out of breath due to pregnancy. But in this video, I will be explaining why I went to the emergency room. You guys will see a little bit of what they do, not everything. I'm definitely posting another video after this, specifically talking about what happened from start to finish, what happened in the very beginning, my symptoms I was having, when I realized I needed to go to the emergency room, what they did when I was there. Pretty much explain this video that you're seeing right now in depth and in detail with more details of this emergency room trip. So again, unfortunately, this is my second emergency room trip this pregnancy, and it was 3 days apart. So my last trip was on a Sunday. Well, my last emergency room trip was on a Sunday, and this happened on a Wednesday, and it was all in the same week, unfortunately. 2 totally different reasons, 2 totally different health issues, but again, they were emergencies. Hence the reason why I did go to the emergency room. I did need care for both of those symptoms in this pregnancy right away. They were both very scary. Hopefully I never have to experience either ever again. It's very scary once you've gone through it during a pregnancy. You worry about it happening again, but I did wait until both symptoms got to where there was nothing more that I could do here at home to solve the issues. So I did have to go to the emergency room, like I said, unfortunately, twice in 1 week. But again, I will be posting another video after this one talking about this visit from start to finish, since I could not vlog too much in the hospital. And I will be explaining everything in depth and, like I said, with basically every detail and what they did. So I am pulling up to the hospital in a second. You guys will see I am going to the emergency room at the hospital that I will be delivering my baby. All of my babies have been born here except for one who was born in Florida when I lived in Florida. Love this hospital, love the staff, love the doctors, nurses, love my OBGYN. I love everything about this hospital. They take great care of me. And even up until this point, they've been taking great care of me and the baby, which I'm very grateful and thankful for. So I did talk a little bit in this vlog. I'm not sure exactly how much, definitely not enough to explain everything that had been going on. So that's why I filmed another video and I'll post it after this one. But the reason I did come in today was because for the last 3 days I had been having trouble urinating, and on this specific day when I went to the emergency room, I could not urinate at all. So of course I was super scared. It was an emergency. It can be very dangerous. So here I am. So at this point I had gotten on my hospital gown, gotten into the hospital bed, and they took some blood work. So I was able to give them a urine sample. Thankfully, I filled the whole cup and I did get blood work, but she still said there's like 30 or 300 milliliters left in my bladder. And she said that's still a lot to have in my bladder, especially since I just went to the bathroom and gave a sample. So they're gonna do an ultrasound, check my urine culture, check my blood work again, and I think I'm going to get an ultrasound on the baby and like the uterus, cervix, the positioning of everything. So I will keep you guys updated. This is a really bad symptom of pregnancy, you guys. It's horrible. Not being able to urinate when you have to urinate. You guys know pregnancy causes so much pressure down here and causes you to urinate a lot. So imagine having like a full bladder and not being able to get anything out. That's what I've been dealing with. So I'll keep you guys updated. She did just take some pictures of my bladder too, so hopefully we'll get some answers. Okay, so update you guys. I just got an email and I checked my app for my insurance and it said that I do have blood in my urine and leukocytes, which I think is a bacteria, form of bacteria. And I did just go to the bathroom a little bit more. I was able to get a little bit more out, so that's good. So I'm just waiting for them to come back in and tell me what's next. And again, I will keep you guys updated on that as well. Yes. I have this button over here connected. Oh, there we go.
My name is Jess. I'm going to be doing your ultrasound.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you okay to walk into the room?
Yes.
Let me get this door for you.
Is it in here?
Yep, right here.
Okay.
Like your uterus holds your baby on the inside.
Okay.
Right? And so within your body, this is the front bone, that's your pubic bone that you can kind of feel there. Back here is your sacrum, so kind of your tailbone. And then there's a bump on this that everybody has. And your bladder is right here, and this is where the urine comes out. And it goes right in front of your uterus, which yours is leaning backwards. And then here's the fetus inside, okay? And so, I know, I'm a very good artist, right? So, right around this time in pregnancy, between like 10 to 15 or so weeks, we have this uterus just at the right size, where sometimes it can get kind of trapped between this pubic bone and the sacrum. And because your bladder is right in the front, when your uterus gets stuck up here, and the bladder is kind of below here, but when the uterus gets stuck between the two, then the tube that carries your urine out that lets you pee gets kind of kinked off, okay? And one of the things that actually makes this happen more often is that your bladder gets really full and it starts to lift up the front part of this uterus. So this bladder gets really big because it's full, and then your uterus gets kind of pushed farther back and gets more stuck on this back portion, and that kinks off this urethra more, okay? And so the question then is, how do we prevent this from happening, right? And since your bladder getting more full makes it harder to pee later on, one of the major things after we kind of tap your uterus out of the position it's in now is that you're going to try to pee exactly every 2 hours. Okay. So one of my attendings always tells me this story of a patient she had who had a similar issue. And it didn't start getting bad until she went to Disney World with her family. And she was walking around. She wasn't going to the bathroom for hours and hours. And she started retaining urine like you are. Once she set a timer and went to the bathroom every 2 hours, even overnight, she did not have any issues.
Okay. So was it like in between these weeks too? Just like that?
Exactly.
Okay.
This is like, I was telling Taylor, this is like a classic like question. You would have a classic presentation of an incarcerated uterus, making it hard for you to pee.
And they said it's very rare, or not that rare?
Relatively.
Okay.
So about 40% of people who have uteruses have backwards facing uteruses. I have a backwards facing uterus.
Okay.
And a small portion of those people have that right combination of the timing plus like keeping urine in for a little bit longer than usual. And then all of this happens and you get the retention. So we definitely see it. It's not the most common thing in the world, but it's something that definitely happens.
Okay, because I do drink a lot of water, and before I go to bed especially, I do, like, for some reason I'm really thirsty, so I drink a lot, so it makes sense that if I've been sleeping for hours, then
that it gets kind of pinched off completely. So all of that like all makes sense to me. It all kind of adds up. And so the major thing, every 2 hours, set a timer on your phone so that you wake up overnight. And it's annoying for sure, and it should only last a couple weeks.
I have 6 other kids, and they wake me up all night.
So,
so I'm used to it, but not every 2 hours, so that'll be a little different, but that's okay.
And it should only be a few weeks. You know, once we get past that 16, 17 week mark, usually the uterus is big enough that it's not going to get stuck in there.
So, like, it'll, instead of being down by the bladder, it'll come, like, move up away from the bladder?
Basically, it's above the sacrum. So that, like, back part, the tailbone, it will be above that. And then it won't get stuck anymore.
So this isn't like a full pregnancy. Okay, so it makes sense. It only happened once before, but this is like 3 days now, so I'm like, there's something wrong.
Yeah. And the one other thing I'll say, so what we'll try to do today is it's kind of a weird exam, but you know how when you're in the office and we like feel your cervix, feel the top of your uterus? I'll actually have you kind of get onto hands and knees, and I'll do that exam and try to push your uterus out of this like position where it's stuck. I'll try to flip it forward some. Okay, it sounds super weird. It's like weird and not
just
super
weird.
Comfortable. It's pressure.
Lots of pressure.
You let me know if at any point it's too bothersome, and we can always kind of revisit.
Okay.
Typically that works, plus the like timed voiding. But if it doesn't, I'd like to have you be able to void here with less than 150 cc's left in your bladder.
Okay.
Because it was pretty high before you left. If it doesn't work, we can talk about placing something called a pessary. It's like a space filling thing. Usually it looks kind of like a little skinny donut. Yeah. And it lifts your cervix up and helps to lift that uterus out of place.
So it's kind of like how like a birth control would be, like they stick it up?
Kinda, yeah. It's very similar, except its purpose, it's a little bit firmer, and its purpose is to help hold things up.
So you don't feel it, it's just there?
You feel like a weird sensation at first. Most people don't notice it after a bit.
Okay.
And I think if you can void and have less than 150 cc's in your bladder, afterwards you don't need one. But either if you can't void and don't have enough, or you have more than that amount left, or if this happens again, even with the voiding, then we either need to talk about pessary or possibly a Foley catheter for a few days.
Okay. Yeah, I do have an appointment October 4th.
Okay.
Or the 5th.
Okay.
So that's still a little bit away, but it's kind of close, so it's kind of hard to say, like, would they want a closer appointment, or like,
why don't we see how symptoms are? You know, if things start bothering you, then we'll set you up for something sooner, and I'll route a message to the office too. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab one of the nurses. We'll get some gloves, and we can try to just reduce that incarceration. Okay.
So should I try to go to the bathroom? I feel like I have to
go ahead if you want to try.
But you never know.
Go for it.
Well, I never know.
And then it might even feel easier. Hopefully it feels easier once I've like reduced this too, but you're welcome to try beforehand. That might have set us up for some more success.
So it's pushing you're gonna pushing
the top part of the uterus where it's stuck by the tailbone. I'm trying to push it up.
Okay.
Sounds super weird, right? It sounds like something somebody would make up.
I have really bad anxiety, so that's why I'm like asking all questions.
No, these are all valid questions.
Okay.
So we'll pop right back in, okay?
Okay.
You go ahead and try.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
You guys will never believe what I just went through, oh my goodness, I have so much explaining to do. I just went through so much torture and pain. Oh my goodness. And like 15 ultrasounds, you guys. So it's like 5:30 p.m. I've been here for like 7.5 hours. But I will explain it to you guys once I'm out of here. Okay, so I was finally able to leave a little bit after 6 o'clock when I could finally urinate. Thank the Lord. I wanted to go home so bad. That procedure hurt so bad. They also inserted a catheter, which hurt so much worse. Oh my goodness, it was awful. But they did end up prescribing me an amoxicillin for the bacteria in my urine. But I did get results back 2 days later that said there was no growth found, so it wasn't a UTI. But make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video where I will be explaining everything from start to finish. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next one.